In this section, we'll have a look at the possibility of getting commercial sponsorship for your DVD. Now, this is something I've found that it's perfectly feasible to get, though what you should be doing if you're going to go that route is to plan well in advance on this. Companies plan their marketing budgets at least a year in advance, well, more than a year in advance generally, so your best chance of getting them to sponsor your DVD is to approach them well in advance of your actually making it. If you approach them at the last minute, you may just be lucky. I have done that myself, but it is much better if you plan it in advance. Now, you can offer them two kinds of sponsorship. You can offer them a sole sponsorship, where they are literally the only sponsor on your DVD, or you can offer a number of different companies which are not directly in competition but are complementary, joint sponsorship. Now, it does depend on what your market is and who you are working with as to how much sponsorship money you can get. But clearly sponsorship money will help your production costs. In equestrianism, where I've done a lot of this kind of thing, if you offer a company sole sponsorship, you can get probably around £1,000 to £1,250 per volume. If you are offering joint sponsorship, then probably around £250. But of course you may get more than 4 joint sponsors. I once got 7 joint sponsors, and of course that came to more than had I sold a sole sponsorship. Those prices should be kept in mind as very approximate because it does depend on your market and who you're working with. Sports personalities, of course, may have their own sponsors who sponsor them with equipment and so on. And if you're working with a sports personality, whether they're doing a master class that you're shooting or whether you're setting something up for the camera, you can approach the sports star's own sponsors and they may well come on board with you as a sponsor for your DVD. Now, if you're going to do that, you do have certain responsibilities to your sponsor. First of all, you've got to give them a good plug on the DVD. What they need is their logo on the cover, and their logo preferably on the program itself, and with their contact information on the program somewhere at the end. I sometimes put a hyperlink on there as well, and that is very helpful to them. If you're working with an expert or a sports personality, they may well be willing to give a direct plug on the DVD to the company's products, and that can also be very useful.
We've got 5 horses for you to have a look at tonight, and whilst they're warming their horses up, I'll just introduce the horses and the riders we've got here. Before I go on and do that, we have to have a little plug. We've got lots of my sponsors here that are organised this evening, and they've all got their stands down here, so feel free to browse around and spend your money.
And you can also have product placement. The company's products placed artistically around the screen so that it's in shot. Keep your sponsors up to date on how sales of the DVDs are going. They may want to sponsor your next volume, and this is obviously very helpful to you. Of course, some sponsors may not want to give you money, but they will provide equipment for you to use with their name on. This is both useful to you and to them. What it's also very important to understand when asking for sponsorship or obtaining sponsorship, you're not asking these people for money. Don't go to them cap in hand and say, "Can we have some money, please?" You are offering them a marketing opportunity, and of course a very good marketing opportunity, because if you're going to sell 5,000 DVDs, and as we've already discussed that is a perfectly feasible target, then they are getting to 5,000 people in a very effective way. So that is a very good marketing opportunity both for them and of course for you. One thing you should do, of course, which is very important, is to get your sponsor under contract. The contract will set out what you are going to do for them and what they are going to do for you. And I've put a sample contract that I use in the resource section at the end of this DVD. Now we'll go and have a very brief word about equipment.